Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the channel. So today I wanted to talk about the announcements we've got recently from the PlayStation State of Play, Summer Games Fest and the Xbox Showcase. But before we get into that and you hear me talking about the things that I'm interested in or looking forward to, I wanted to quickly show off the pickups that I've got this week and more importantly, a gift I got from one of you guys. So Jason, if you're out there, I'm guessing you're watching this because you watch all the videos. I just want to say a massive thank you for gifting me a copy of Sword Art Online Fatal Bullet. Now, it's a game I didn't actually have in the collection, so it's one I'm glad to finally add. I think I've actually got the other Sword Art Online games, so this finishes that subset for me. I've been speaking to him for a while before I started this channel, but randomly out of the blue, one time when I saw him, he just said, like, oh, I've found your channel and I really like what you're doing. And one of the times when I popped in to see him, he said he had a copy of this and he would be happy to give it to me for a £5. So that's a lot cheaper than what CEX sell it for. So of course I said yeah, I'll take it. It's a game I didn't have. For cheaper than CEX is selling it, why would I ever say no? But then when I went to buy it off him, he actually said, no, I want to give it to you as a gift for the channel. And I can't say how much I appreciate that. So Jason, if you're watching, thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. And just know that this will be safe in my collection. So thank you for that. So next one is actually a charity shop find, but it's not a cheap one. It's not 50p or £1, £2 game. It's one I actually bought for £10. But that is Sniper Elite 5. Now, funnily enough, in last week's video, I mentioned that I was looking to complete this subset and I already had 4. I got 3 last week. And now, randomly out in a charity shop in Aldridge, I found this for £10. Now you might be thinking, £10 for a game from a charity shop is quite expensive, and it is, especially when you get no guarantee or anything like that. But they let me check out the disc. I was happy with everything, all looked in good condition, and it's going to a good cause. It's like a cat charity, and at CEX they sell this for £22. So I've got it for less than half price, and I think I could trade it in even for a bit of a profit on a voucher. So I'm happy to pay £10 for that, and add that to the collection as well. But the last pickups I got are a bundle of 2 games from Vinted. Of course, always buying off Vinted when I can, when I find the bargains. But for this bundle, I sent an offer of £7. They accepted, and with the fees and the shipping, that come to £10.34. So as you can see, I haven't even opened it yet, so we'll crack it open together now and see, hopefully, that they're in good condition. It's only a bubble mailer, but usually these are all right. So, one of the games in here is the correct game, but they've sent the wrong game with it, which is a bit of a disappointment. I'll have to message them and see what happened. I'm guessing they just put the wrong game in the parcel. But I'll show the game that I didn't order, which is WWE 2K Battlegrounds. Already own this. It does trade in for a little bit, but it's not worth all that much. What I did order in its place was Metro Exodus. So I've got Metro Redux 2033 and is it Last Light or something to do with light. And I wanted to add Exodus to the collection to complete, the Metro subset, so to say. So a little bit disappointed that I got this instead, but that's not the game I bought this bundle for anyway. The one that I did get it for was Planet Coaster Console Edition for the PS4. Now this trades in, I think, for like 12 or... It's quite a bit. It's come down lower than it used to be, because this used to be quite expensive to pick up. But to get both of these, well, both of what I wanted to order for £10.34 is an absolute bargain. I do already have the Platinum for this. I think I got it while I was on paternity leave, and I absolutely loved it. Again, I love park builders. I've just picked up Planet Zoo, so being able to add Planet Coaster to the collection, I'm really happy with that. That's just so disappointing that they sent the wrong game. As soon as I finish recording this, I'll drop a message and try and find out what's happened there. But anyway, on to what I wanted to talk about in this video. So initially, what I was going to record this week was a look at the games from my childhood that kind of made me who I am today. But with everything going on in the gaming world at the moment, all the announcements that are being made, I thought it'd be worth talking about all the new stuff that's been announced and kind of giving my opinion on them. And as I'll probably put in the title, say who won with this. You know, was it the State of Play that was better? Was it the Summer Game Fest that was better? Or the Xbox Showcase that was better? And of course, this is completely my opinion. I'm not saying, you know, one is better overall, or this is completely dependent on the games that I was interested in from these events. So don't come at me with hate or whatever. This is just my personal opinion. So we'll jump into the State of Play first, as that's the one that went live first. It wasn't that great of a State of Play for me. There wasn't that much there really that interested me. There was Digimon Story Time Stranger. We've seen that before. I do like Digimon. Played some of the other games on PS4. Do want to go back and play some of the ones I've missed. But there was a game on the PS1, Digimon World. Absolutely fantastic game. And if we had a game like that remade, or you know, one of the newer style games in a similar style to that, it would be perfect for me. Final Fantasy Tactics, I mean, it's a classic series. We've seen it being brought back to life. So that's pretty cool. Never really been a major fan of tactics games, but again, I'll probably check it out when it's on sale. We had an announcement of an announcement for Ghost of Yotei. So they showed a little bit and then announced that they're doing another State of Play specifically for Ghost of Yotei. Now, I loved Ghost of Tsushima. Absolutely fantastic game. The style, the combat, the story, it was just all fantastic. And I played it from start to finish and platinumed it pretty much in one go. I didn't play anything in between, so loved it. Looking forward to Ghost of Yotei. I know it's a different protagonist, but I have faith that they'll be able to tell a really amazing story again. Next one I was kind of interested in is 007 First Light. As I said last week, I am trying to complete the set of 007 games on the PS3, and to get a new one from IOI Interactive, which is the Hitman dev. I think they could do a really, really cool game with First Light. It's a bit of a shame that it's not as open and the style of game that Hitman is, where there's so many different ways you can do things. It looks a lot more linear than the Hitman games, but I have faith that they'll be able to do a good job with that, so I'm interested to see more. There was a new Lumines, however you say it, announced. Now, I love this on the PSP. I had that way back in the day. I think it was one of the games I got when my mum bought it for me. I love like music games and stuff like that, rhythm games, and you can't beat a bit of Tetris. It's nice to just relax and chill out to. So add them things together and you get Lumines. The Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection was announced. Now, Mortal Kombat is the fighting game series that I'm the biggest fan of, but not that interested in replaying some of the original games. I think if anything, I would be more happy to go back to the PS2 days of Mortal Kombat. You know, if we got like a remaster of Shaolin Monks or Armageddon, them kind of games, I would be a lot happier to see them than these. But it is cool to be able to go back and not have to pay the prices that these are, and you get them all in one nice little collection. So Neo 3, now I'm into my Souls games. Never really got into Neo, and I don't know what it was. I have them both, Neo 1 and 2. They just didn't click with me the same way that From Software games do. Even like Remnant 2 and Lords of the Fallen, they felt a lot better to me than Neo does. I don't know what it is. I think it's the combat's a lot faster paced. I'm more of a fan of like slower, jankier kind of gameplay, whereas Neo's more akin to like Ninja Gaiden and stuff like that. A game that absolutely piqued my interest was it 4 years ago it was shown or something like that, and that is Pragmata. Just looks really unique all them years ago, and obviously it's been delayed and delayed. It was meant to come out this year, I believe, or last year originally, and then they pushed it back, and then it went into like a indefinite hiatus kind of situation. But now they've come back, they've shown gameplay, they've shown another trailer, and they've given a release date. So looks interesting, looks unique. I will say that with them showing the gameplay, it's kind of taken a bit of the interest away for me. It's not quite what I was expecting, but I'll check it out. I'll keep an eye on it and see if it's worth picking up. Obviously we got Marvel Tokon. This is the game that they spent the most time on in this state of play, and whilst it looks good, I love Arc System Works, like the Guilty Gear and the Kill fighting game. I don't know, I love Marvel as well, but fighting games, whilst as I've said, I enjoy Mortal Kombat, they're just not my kind of thing. Another big one in Silent Hill F, obviously we knew about this anyway, but to see some of the gameplay and the story, it looks quite dark. I just really enjoyed the trailer that they showed, and it did build up a bit of tension and had a bit of fear to it, so that's exactly what Silent Hill should be, and it just looks fantastic. So again, another one that I'm interested in. And then one that was just really weird, it looked like 3 or 4 different games in one. It started as this weird animated style, and at first I was like, oh god, what's this? It was just really weird, but that is Romeo is a Dead Man. Obviously it's Muda51's game, and he's known for just doing really weird but unique and just crazy games that are usually quite fun to play. So when I saw it was Muda51, I knew it was something that I'll keep an eye on. So that was all the things I was mainly interested in the state of play. There was more that was shown, but most of them, it was just, you know, nothing that's I'm gonna go out and play really, or go out and buy. Next was the Summer Game Fest. Forgot this was on, and I was half an hour late to watching it, but I quickly scrubbed through the half an hour that I missed and then caught up and watched it live. Some of the things that I was interested in from this one: Lies of P Overture. Absolutely loved Lies of P. It's the Souls-like that felt the closest to a From Software game. It felt like it was made by From Software, and then the whole way that it's, you know, Pinocchio and other fairy tale characters in this dark, grim world, it was just fantastic. And then for them to come out and say, show Lies of P Overture, but to say it was like dropping then and there on that day, absolutely crazy. Haven't bought it yet, do want to at some point in the future, because I'm looking forward to that, and I hope that they do a second game for Lies of P, because it's really fantastic. If you haven't tried it and you like your Souls games, honestly try it. It is fantastic. One that was really weird and I didn't know what was happening. I didn't know if they were showing like a Jon Snow Game of Thrones like TV series, or like what it was. Like I was saying to my friend who I was watching it with, are they doing like a Game of Thrones What If? But no, it turned out to be Game of Thrones War for Westeros, which is like a tactical Age of Empires style of game. And as I said, I'm not really normally into them kind of strategy games, but Age of Empires, Age of Mythology, they are some of my favourite childhood games, and I'll go more into that next week probably. So when I heard that this would be very similar in style to those games, I know it would be something that I will like and will probably pick up. I'm the same as most people. I love Game of Thrones until the last season or two, and it just kind of went downhill, unfortunately. It looked really interesting in the way that you can change the outcome of things. Next one that tickled my pickle was Stranger Than Heaven. Now I like my Yakuza games and the Lost Judgment games, and this is made by them. It looks interesting. I have a feeling it's going to be something like vampires or something along that kind of route. Love the things that RGG put out, So I'm sure it'll be something that at some point I will pick up and play. A few of the smaller ones, Code Vein 2, another Souls-like. Love Code Vein 1. This looks really weird to me, and I don't know if they've changed the art style or I don't know what it was. But it didn't quite look the same as Code Vein. Whilst I'm interested and want to see more, it just didn't capture me as much as I thought a sequel to that game would. But I did play Code Vein 1 with some friends. That was really fun. So if it's the same kind of thing with this, I'm sure we'll have an equal amount of fun. Infinitesimals, I'm guessing it's pronounced something like that. Looked interesting, caught my attention. You play as like a humanoid cricket who's really small, and you're fighting other bugs in like, you know, it looked similar to like Empire of Ants or something like that, but more gritty. I don't know, just looked really different. Kind of reminded me a bit of Biomutant, so I'm a bit hesitant because Biomutant also caught my attention when that was announced, and then obviously we all know how that turned out. So I'll look for more to be shown before I get my hopes up too much, but looked interesting. We'll do the big one, which was Resident Evil 9 Requiem. We all knew it was coming, but it's cool to see it. Obviously it follows, I think it might be Rose, but she's changed her name to Grace, I think it was. So, and she works for the FBI. Interested to see where they go with that. Will we see Ethan again? Is he just completely gone? And is she technically half mold baby? Dunno. Pretty weird, but I guess we'll find all of that out in Resident Evil 9. The biggest one for me, and the one that interested me the most and got me most excited when they showed it, is Jurassic World Evolution 3. Now I've got the platinums for both 1 and 2. Again, as I always say, I love park builders, I love zoo games, and the other Jurassic World Evolution games were fantastic. So of course I'm going to get this probably day one. After the main event they did, I think it was called the Day of the Devs or something like that, and I watched it for a little bit whilst we were waiting to load up. Was it Fortnite we played that night, I think? So whilst we was waiting for everyone to get on to play, I carried on watching the Day of the Dev stuff, and surprisingly they showed something that I was actually interested in, which is Moonlighter 2. So no, I don't have Moonlighter 1 physical, just digital, because that's how it originally released, and then annoyingly they released a physical release a little bit later. But it's a roguelite where you go into a dungeon, you get items and materials and stuff like that. Obviously there's bosses and stuff that you can kill for better materials and resources. You bring them out of the dungeon and then you put them in your shop to sell, and there's a whole part of the game where you're, you know, haggling for the price and setting the price of the stuff to try and get the most amount of money. Just really interesting way to do a roguelite, and something I really enjoyed. To be fair, I was actually considering going back to Moonlighter 1 and trying to get the platinum for it. So that might be something I do in anticipation for Moonlighter 2. Some really strong stuff shown here. Obviously it's Jeff Keighley. He has the connections to get some of the biggest announcements in games every year, either at the Summer Game Fest or at the Video Game Awards at the end of the year. So I didn't actually watch the Xbox showcase, I forgot it was on, but I've seen the video after the fact, and there's not much from there that I'm actually interested in. So it was 3 games. Got Resonance, A Plague Tale Story. Loved A Plague Tale 1, fantastic game. Haven't yet played Plague Tale, is it Requiem as well for that? Something like that. But to see Plague Tale coming back again, fantastic. They're just really great games, look great, play great, very unique, but just really fun games, cool stories, very emotional. Second one is a game I've already played many years ago, and one that is coming to PlayStation, which surprised everyone when it was announced, but that is Gears of War Reloaded. I can't believe it's coming to PlayStation. It's just crazy. Like, if you would have told me even 5 years ago that Xbox would be putting their biggest franchises on PlayStation, I wouldn't have believed you. As much as I'm a PlayStation fan, I never cared about the console wars. It's always better for us when there's a healthy competition between two rival companies. Yeah, it's a shame, and I really hope it doesn't change the way that Sony operates. I hope that they still, do quality first, put out some really amazing games and don't lose their way. Because we've seen that happen before. Look at the PS3 announcement and how kind of out of touch that was, because they got cocky from the PS2 days. So I just really hope that doesn't happen again. But the biggest surprise, was it a surprise? I'm sure there was a leak that came out about this, but as a JRPG fan, of course it's going to be Persona 4 Revival. So Persona 4 was the one that I jumped into the franchise with, Persona 4 Golden on the PS Vita, and I just fell in love straight away. So to get I think it's a remake of that, I cannot wait. I don't know if I'm ready to lose another 100 to 120 hours, if not more, if I want to try and get the platinum. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. We'll definitely be picking this one up and definitely be playing it. That's it for the Xbox showcase for me. There's more games shown, just nothing that was really for my interest. So now, out of all these, who do I think won? I'm going to say Wielded. Gamers always win, and it might be like the lamest thing to say, but when events like this happen, gamers always come out the winners, because we're getting more games. The game industry is growing, and year on year we see better, bigger, bolder games coming out, and regardless of what console or what game or whatever is selling the best, the ability to get new games that could cater to anyone's likes or dislikes or interests. Of course, we're always going to be winning, and you can see by just the amount of games I've named here that are coming out over the next year or two. That's a ridiculous amount of games. There wasn't anything major at these events. I mean, Resident Evil 9 is a big one. We knew that was coming. Silent Hill F was a big one. We knew that was coming. I think the biggest one for me, and the one I'm most looking forward to, is either Ghost of Yotei, but again, we knew that was coming, or Jurassic World Evolution 3, which was a surprise for me. I don't know if it was announced or leaked beforehand, but that was a nice surprise for me. Oh, obviously Persona 4 Revival as well. So what, out of the list of all the games I've just said, there's maybe 3 or 4 that I'm definitely 100% getting. But a lot of the big announcements are kept usually for the Video Game Awards at the end of the year, so we'll have to keep an eye out for that. And then of course we'll have more events, more state of plays, more Xbox showcases in the months leading up to the end of the year anyway, so it'll be fine. I'm sure there'll be plenty more, and 2025 is already a stacked year as it is. If anything, whilst I'm looking forward to GTA 6, I'm glad it has been pushed to 2026, because I'm struggling to keep up already as it is. That is pretty much everything I want to talk about in this week. As I said, next week we'll be talking a bit more about the games from my childhood and kind of discussing how they made me the person I am. We'll go more into that next week. I'm still playing Phasmophobia and Fortnite mainly at the minute. Haven't really had a chance to touch Stellar Blade. Unfortunately, I'm just absolutely exhausted at the minute. I don't think I've said this before, but I work in a secondary school, and obviously it's exam season at the moment, so I've been in and out a lot of the exams, helping to invigilate. And when you're sitting in a room, standing in a room for 2 to 3 hours with nothing to stimulate your mind, you become mentally drained, having to keep yourself awake and alert for that amount of time. It's exhausting, and when you're on sometimes 2 of those a day, yeah, it's ridiculous. So I've struggled to find time to record for this. If I get this out by Friday, it'll be a miracle at this point, because it's Wednesday today, and I'm staying late at work tomorrow, so we'll have to see how it goes. But obviously the kids as well. only really have a night time to do things, but then I also don't want to miss out on chances to play games with friends, so it's difficult at the moment. I thought coming back and doing this style of video would make it a lot better, but I just think, at least at the moment with the exams going on, it's a bit of a struggle. But yes, that's all I wanted to talk about this week. So tune in again next week to see what my week in gaming was all about. Hopefully I can get some good pickups for cheap prices. I've now got about £20 in my Vinted account. Sold some more things, so when they get delivered, I'll have another, I think it's 23, so I'll be up to like 45. So I'll have a bit of cash, or Vinted balance, to hopefully buy some good bargains. Thank you so much for watching the video, as always. Again, leave comments. I love chatting with you guys. What was the favourite thing that you saw at these events, at the State of Play, Summer Game Fest or Xbox Showcase? What are you looking forward to from those? What are you playing at the moment? What platinums are you going for? How far are you into those platinums? And just if you have any questions about me, my collection, if you want to see anything in particular, let me know, and I can either answer the question or show you whatever it is you want to see. So honestly, thank you so much for watching. Hopefully I'll see you again soon. Bye bye.